We welcome you to our instructional video on preparing and upgrading the S4HPS device system for cataract surgery. After switch on of the device, by flipping the switch on the back, the device starts automatically and begins with the initialization. Furthermore, the stored data on the surgeons with corresponding parameters are loaded. After the initialization has been completed, a note will first appear stating that only GEUDER's own accessories may be used. After pressing the menu button, the corresponding window for selecting the operator data appears. The fields with a blue background are active and are thus loaded by the To Surgery button. If the cassette system is not yet inserted, the system indicates that a cassette should first be inserted in the device system. To do this, the cassette is removed from the sterile packaging. It contains the irrigation set, the tubing system for irrigation and aspiration, and the cassette with the collection bag already connected. When the cassette is inserted into the device system, the sensor calibration starts automatically. Once this has been successfully completed, the operation screen appears on the user interface. The irrigation set and the tubing system must now be connected to the cassette. To do this, first remove the protective cap from the mandrel of the irrigation set and close the roller clamp. It is essential to ensure that the mandrel is kept sterile. The mandrel can then be inserted into the BSS bottle and the other end of the irrigation set connected to the cassette. On the drip chamber, the valve must be opened and the drip chamber filled to the mark by squeezing. Care should be taken to use only the irrigation set included in the set. If other systems are used, a filter may be included under certain circumstances, which can lead to an insufficient supply of BSS. The tubing system cannot be switched due to the color coding of the aspiration line on the one hand, and on the other hand due to the form-fitting LUR connectors. The irrigation line is connected to the top right of the cassette. The red safety connector is to be connected to the center of the cassette. To prepare the ultrasonic handle, we first need a Phaco set. This is available in sizes 2.2 to 2.35 mm, 2.4 to 2.55 mm, 2.6 to 2.75 mm, and 2.8 to 2.95 mm. The set includes the Phaco needle, already stored in the key for mounting on the handle for safe transport. The irrigation sleeve with 2 irrigation ports and a test anterior chamber. The Phaco needle is screwed onto the Phaco handle with the aid of the key and hand tightened. The irrigation sleeve is then positioned correctly on the needle. Care must be taken to ensure that the irrigation openings are at right angles to the aspiration channel to enable sufficient irrigation. As a final step, the test anterior chamber is positioned on the needle and sleeve for preparation purposes. The Phaco needle key must be retained urgently in order to unscrew the needle from the ultrasonic handle after completion of the procedure. The lure connectors of the tube system can then be connected to the other end of the Phaco handle. The roller clamp can now be opened. On the user interface of the Megatron S4HPS, the preparation button is selected for testing the ultrasonic handle. Here, for example, a new sensor calibration of the cassette can be performed, the bottle can be changed, or the tube system can be filled. Furthermore, the ultrasound time can be read after a successful cataract operation. Before the next operation or a new Phaco test, this time must be reset. Before the ultrasonic test, it must be selected whether it is to be performed long, i.e. with filling of the tubes, or short. In the short test, only a small amount of liquid is delivered, which could have been lost if the test anterior chamber was removed. In the case of initial testing, the long ultrasonic test is therefore selected. The entire tubing system is therefore filled first. The display on the user interface shows the percentage status of the test. Once the tubing system is filled, the ultrasonic test is performed. The characteristic hiss of the ultrasound can be heard. If the ultrasound test is not successful, this is often due to the fact that the ultrasound tip was not tightened firmly enough. It is therefore advisable to check this first by removing the test anterior chamber and sleeve and tightening the Phaco tip again with the aid of the key. After repositioning the sleeve and test anterior chamber, the short ultrasound test can then be selected. The test runs much faster because the tube system is already filled with liquid. If the test was successful, the window closes automatically after a few seconds. The device system is thus ready for use, which can also be seen from the completely green status displays on the user interface. After completion of the last operation of the surgical day, the last used I/A handles can be removed from the tubing system, and this can be short-circuited. To empty the cassette, the hose clamp is then closed and the empty cassette function is selected on the device system. After this has been completely carried out, the unit is switched off via the off button. And also via the toggle switch on its back. When all lights on the front have gone out, the unit system is completely shut down. You can find more videos on the topic of parameterization of a cataract operation or also operations in the posterior segment of the eye in our media library.